Awesome, man.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming on the podcast. Just tell me about where you're from and what got you into traveling. What's behind the passion?
Well, it's not from a young age, I will say, but I think it's because I graduated in tourism, and then I just not only about the lessons, but about all what the teacher said in class and all. I just wanted to explore more because my parents actually I'm French. Sorry, I didn't tell you. I'm from France. I'm French. I live in Lyon, and so my parents also loved traveling, but in general, they took us in Europe mostly and in France. So I didn't really explore so many countries with my parents only. But then I have decided to, yeah, just with the class and everything that I learned, I just wanted to explore more.
Yeah, okay, awesome. So were you born in Lyon as well, or?
Yes, yes, I was.
Ah, cool, cool. I heard there's like a heaps of protests over there at the moment. Is that every weekend they're happening?
The history protest, really? I don't see it.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
because
Wow.
I think I'm not living really in the city center. I'm living near Lyon, so that's why maybe. But what is it about this protest? I don't know.
Yeah, I heard that there was meant to be like the vaccine passport type protest, but maybe not.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Yeah. This, yeah. Of
That
course, it
they are
goes. Yeah,
those
isn't it in Australia too?
every
Are
day.
you from every
Yeah,
day? Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. I guess it's an international thing.
yeah. So tell me about some of your travels. Where have you been to? Is it mostly around Europe you've traveled to, or where have you been?
Not only in Europe, I've been. So I started in Malta, really. So right after my I graduated. You know
Amazing.
Malta?
Yeah, I know Malta. Yeah, my family's from
Okay.
there. But anyway, go on.
Oh, really? Okay. So yeah, I started there with an internship, and after I wanted to go further, and I decided to go to Orlando. So I worked in Disney for a couple of months, and after Hong Kong, um, Chile. Yeah, Chile was my last travel in 2019.
Wow, that's awesome. So let's start back at Orlando at Disney. So what did you do for Disney? Did you play like Spider-Man or something or
Like, most of the people said that I play Mickey most of the time, but no, it's not Mickey. It's I work very cliche, very French cliche at the bakery, à la boulangerie. Very very
Ah,
French cliche. So I had a hat. I could have wore even a baguette under my arm, but it's it was really cliche. I was selling bread and pastries into Epcot. If you've been in Orlando, in one of the parks in Disney. So in Epcot, you have like something they called like the world actually, and you can do a tour of the world. So you have not all the countries. I think Australia is not represented, I'm afraid, but we have a lot of countries represented. United States, Italy, um, Mexico, United States, of course, I said it. England, France, and then in all of these pavilion, as they call it, you can taste some of the food or drink some of the delicacies. Yeah, and then you have also some of the attractions there, and I worked there.
wow, that's awesome. Did you go on any of the rides and everything? Or you're too old for
Yes, of
that?
course. Yeah. So I didn't really like the job, to be honest, because it was really intense. Also, yeah. So the customers comes and they ask you kind of the same thing every day, every time. So it's just a tiring job at the end. But of course, the main reason why everyone go is because you have a pass, like a card, which with you can go to every parks Disney for free, every Disney parks for free.
Oh, wow.
So that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really part of why I think people apply for these kinds of jobs.
But you think after a while you'd get sick of it. You just feel sick after like just destroying all the rides for the day and everything. But that's cool. That's very cool.
Exactly. Yeah. You
Wow.
have to love the attractions in general. I don't know if that's your case, but
Yeah, yeah. No, I love them. Um, it reminds me. I don't know if you've seen Modern Family, but there's this episode where like they take the whole family to like the theme park, and they're like, "Oh, it's going to be a good day," and then they get in line. It's like a 9 hour wait.
I didn't watch the episode, but I can imagine. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's awesome. So you worked. How long did you work there for?
So that was 6 months. Yeah, 6 months.
6 months. Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
in
And then
2017 that was. Yeah.
2017. Okay. And you're just saving money for the travels, or did you go back to Lyon or France before you kept going?
Uh, I I tried to save that as much as I could, but then on attractions park it gets expensive pretty easily, and then you go. We were also doing some trips because we had something they call, how do they call it? Like back to back. So they gave you three or 4 days off, and then with that time you could go to cities in America or in Canada, and it was very common for the the people who were working in the park to go and explore the country. So I saved the money, and then I did a trip. I did a road trip in America.
Where'd you go for that? How was that?
I went to Cuba first for 2 weeks. So that's not America. I didn't mention it, but I went to Cuba, and after I wanted to do the Road 66, which actually isn't there anymore. But
Oh,
yeah, but a lot of people want to go to the Road 66, but it doesn't exist. Like it's just
really?
yeah, there are parts of the road that are still there, but mostly it's like the I-40, mostly.
Is that what it's called now? The I-40?
Yeah, it's pretty sad, isn't it?
That is the saddest thing ever.
I'm sorry
Oh my
to say that.
God. Really?
Yeah, I think it's because in the 80s they built something, because of course the roads, if you don't like rebuild it or do reconstruct it or renovate it, that's the word I was searching for. If they don't renovate it, like the roads gets pretty ugly and you have to do something. But they just thought, oh, okay, now it's out of the way, uh, no pun intended, but out of the way, and then we're just gonna construct or build something else. Again, they built like a huge highway with less fun, I think, because I think part of the fun of the Road 66 was also to put a lot of attractions for the people to see, but it's also because of the attraction got old and people died in the time. It's a very sad story.
Jeez.
But yeah, so people just lost the intentions or the will of going to the road, and uh, yeah, time passed by and people just stopped using that road. So
Wow. There you go. I never knew that. That's a
okay,
really
so
sad story. So did you do the I-40 or whatever it was? Did you do it or you just like, it's done?
yeah, because actually you don't really have a choice. Like we tried really to took the road 66 because yeah, it's mythical. It's a legend, that road,
Yeah.
right? So we wanted really to take that road and to go for hours in it, but the parts where we where we were in the road 66 is just like
Oh, really? It's like,
yeah. So yeah, you just go for a time, and after you come back to the main road, maybe, because it's a bit better but less interesting. But you can still go to some of the attractions. Some of the attractions of the Route 66 are still open, like some hotels, for example. Or we saw also a huge whale. A whale. I think it's a husband built for his wife. A huge whale, and as part of the 40 years of marriage or something like that. And then you can just go inside of the whale. Yeah, there are some attractions like that remains. That's really cool.
right. A whale. Like you walk into the belly of the whale.
Yeah, exactly. You can see the belly. You have also her tongue going out like this. It's like a like
Biblical, that
like a
sounds.
toboggan, like a slide.
Yeah,
The tongue.
right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So continue me on your journey. So you went through, you've done the Route 66. Where else did you go on this road trip? Was it just you, by the way, or were you with anyone or?
I was with some friends. Yeah, three friends of mine,
Yep.
and we started in Chicago. So we just stayed. We tried to stay in cities, but after we went to St. Louis, all the way to Los Angeles, and after San Francisco, which is not part of the Route 66, but yeah, all the way up to San Francisco. We wanted to explore that city too. So we stopped at many points like Albuquerque, for example, or St. Louis, Oklahoma City, um, Las Vegas. So
Wow,
yeah,
how
some of
was
the
that?
stuff like that.
How was Las Vegas?
Las Vegas, very hot, super hot.
Really?
We didn't stay much, but you can actually find cheap hotels there. Cheap hotels that
Ah,
in some of the, I think they want to attract tourists because tourists are not there all the time. There are many people usually, but not all the time.
yep.
So they want to attract tourists, and they load the prices a lot for that. So you can really find like really cheap hotels. And we went into that pyramid. Have you saw the Luxor,
Yes, I
the huge
have.
store? It's
Yes.
like
Yep.
you have a lot of crazy hotels there going on. You have like the Eiffel Tower, uh, the London Bridge, or
Right at
it's
home.
crazy. Exactly, like the European section, and yeah. So we stayed at the pyramid actually, at the Sphinx.
Wow, that's
So quite
awesome.
quite cool experience. Yeah, I think it
That
was $30 or something, so not really expensive.
a night.
Or yeah,
Cool.
$30 a night. Yeah, $30 a night for full person,
That's really cool.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah. Did you go gambling much there?
yeah, a little bit.
Did you
It
did
gets.
you win?
Uh, I think I won, but something like $10 that I lose that I lost after.
You're up and then you're down again. Yeah, that's a shame.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you gamble too?
Um, only on sports bet. We have this thing, sports bet. So
Oh,
you,
okay.
yeah, I never win though. So,
I think it's the thing. We never win when we gamble, I think.
no, no. That's the yeah, that's how it goes. So, did you guys was the clubs and stuff open in Las Vegas at the time?
Yes, there was, but actually we spent really, I think, one night, not much. So we really arrived late in the day, and we our departure was early morning, so we didn't stay much. So we just enjoyed the gambling and also the walking in the city, because into the strips is pretty cool. All the thing you can see, especially at night, where it's still super hot, by the way. Like I think it was 45. I don't know. Do you count in Fahrenheit, you, or because we
Oh,
do it degrees Celsius?
oh, we do degrees. Yeah,
Oh, cool. Okay, so it was 45 degrees
that's
Celsius.
you know,
It's crazy. Yeah.
wow.
And at night, so we were like, but what it is in the day? Yeah, pretty humid too. So you go outside, you sweat like a pig. It's
That's
really crazy.
brutal.
That's brutal.
Yeah, wow. I didn't know it was that hot of a night. You think you'd die off, but obviously not.
No,
Wow.
it's really like in the middle of desert, literally. Like maybe in Australia, at some part, you must have that, but it's pretty, yeah, pretty intense to live there too. Because when you go outside, it's always like, when should I go? What is the best time to do the groceries or to do my shopping?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Pretty weird city. I would compare it to Dubai right now because it's pretty much the same, right? Being in the
Yes.
middle of a desert, all built from nothing, from scratch.
Yep, yep.
And
Did you see any like people? Are they allowed to holster guns in Las Vegas, or is that the wrong state to do that?
um,
Because in France
actually,
they don't do that,
I
I guess.
yeah, we don't do that. But I guess it depends on the state. But I will say most of the states allow it. No, if it's for defense in United States, but I don't remember people wearing guns or any of the weapons I can think of. Maybe just to the the performers with knife that was like juggling probably, but
Yeah,
I don't
right.
remember wearing guns like this and threaten you to go to gamble in.
To our casinos. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly, just gamble now.
Yeah, I heard that I saw this documentary on the gambling thing. I don't know if this is true, but they said that within the casinos, like there's no clocks I don't think there's any clocks. There's no clocks, or they said something about, and it's always lit up, so you're always like confused about the time or how long you've spent gambling. Did you notice that at all, or?
I think it's super true because in a casino there are no lights at all, like no windows most of the time. So you don't have any notion of the time, and it's really dark. So it's all light up with lights and not from the sun. So every time you are in casino, you're like, okay, I know I'm in a casino, but I have no notion of time, literally none, and that's very confusing. Yeah. It's also when you go to the, so that's not about time, but when you go to the bathroom, there is only hot water because you can't drink water from tap. That's also
Oh,
something interesting, I think. Only to
why is
make you
that?
consume as much as they can, to make you buy
Oh,
drinks.
that's smart. That's so smart. Yeah, right.
It is, huh? Yeah. And we were
Only
like, but
hot
wait
water.
a minute, is that a problem? So you let the tap open, you're like, but it's still hot. What's wrong with
Wow,
it? And then yeah, you're like, it's hot.
that's
Just like,
smart.
okay, super smart. That's what I thought too.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that. Wow. So I want to talk to you about Cuba as well, because I've seen some documentaries. I love the look of Cuba, and then we'll go to Chile. But tell me about Cuba. How was it in terms of currency? Like, um, did you use American dollars in Cuba, or is it what do they use? Was it Cuban lira or?
So they actually accept both. So they accept the dollars and the Cuban, I think peso, if I'm not mistaken. But they accept the two. The thing is, when you go buy something, first they see your face, this they see your look, and they're like, okay, this guy will probably use American dollars, so we need to charge him as fuck. We need to charge him as much as possible. So there is this thing
Double
in
it.
Cuba. Yeah, exactly. There is this thing, which actually I understand because this is um, still, I would say, a poor country or a country where, yeah, people are not too rich. To be honest, it was crazy in the streets where what I saw, but I understand, but it's also a bit unfair to because we notice the price and we know kind of the difference between our currency between euros or dollars. And when you have the price in a Cuban peso and then you have the price in American dollar, you just notice, but wait a minute, this is like twice or maybe three times the price as I should pay. So I agree to pay a bit more, but I think this is a bit of smuggling, I don't know. That's what
Yeah.
I that's what I thought.
So it's kind of in
It's
a
a bit
way you're
weird.
kind of getting scammed for half your money in a way from the.
Exactly. Yeah.
Jeez.
It's,
Yeah, right. Did you find a lot of like pickpocketers there, or was it quite sort of safe feel?
mm, I didn't feel much insecure when I was there, but I will say there are a lot of people. You're like a cow, they want to get your milk. I don't know if you say that in English, but
Yep.
you're yeah. So you
I know what
just
you mean.
every time you walk on the street, people would just hey, taxi, and then they will whistle to you. They will whistle you and say like I remember the taxi drivers were really annoying because they will chase you all around the city. Not like this, but they will really follow you and say, are you sure you don't want a taxi? And yeah, and at the time I wasn't speaking any Spanish and my friends neither, so we had a hard times um, speaking and also answering questions. But anyway, I will say, yeah, most of the time people will want your money, but I didn't feel really insecure. La Havana, probably a bit more, the capital, but otherwise it was pretty cool.
How was the food?
Uh, have to pay attention of the water when you order to the restaurant, and also the water is not drinkable from the tap. But
Oh.
yeah, have to pay attention to that. But yeah, otherwise, I would say the restaurants in general that the guide recommends uh, are are really nice. They serve so it's really fun because they don't have, or actually back at the time because it was in 2017, and I heard some people that went to Cuba right now, and it evolved a lot, it changed really a lot, and now it tends to be even more touristic than before. So even more, they pushed even more the tourism further than before. But at the time, there were nearly no American products, like no Wi-Fi, also no, no 4G, or so it was really, yeah, it was a moment, an experience to don't have internet during 2 weeks, and so we had to buy everything beforehand, like the hotels and everything. Otherwise, the people would recommend something to us, and yeah. So sorry, I don't remember your question. I think I'm getting
No,
too
that's all
far.
right. No, that's all good. Yeah. So so did you like was there a lot of street food that you could eat as well?
Street food, yeah,
You got to
I
be
wouldn't
careful though.
recommend it. Yeah, you
Mhm.
got to be careful. I think it's okay. I mean, the food in general is cooked, even with meat. We tried some meat. We didn't have any problem. But I think it was more about the drinks, especially water. You
Yep.
have to really pay attention of the water you buy, because this is not. I mean, it was not drinkable. I don't know about now, but I think it's still the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful on that.
So what type of like travel do you do? Like when you go to places like Cuba, for example, are you like a hiker or what do you get into once you're there?
So with Cuba and in America in general, we planned our trip before. So with like Airbnb, or we didn't try couch surfing yet. I tried it recently, but we didn't try that kind. I think it was more of a Airbnb all the way, actually, even in Cuba before, because the people had Airbnb, which is yeah, they had internet sometimes, so they could connect, so they had an account and everything. But otherwise, I think we let 2 to 3 nights or more, even like 1 week, maybe during our whole trip, to not plan where we go, and we would just ask people and say, "Oh, do you know any hotels or any hospedaje where we could go and crush to, So to let a little bit of surprise, actually, I think it's always the best when you let some surprise, right?
Yeah, yeah, because then it
When
gets
you
a
let
bit like
let yourself.
yeah, totally agree. A bit more less rigid. It helps.
Exactly. It's good to have
Yeah,
some plans, because then you can go around the city, visit, and plan the things you want. But after, also cool to have some surprises.
yeah, yeah. It actually kind of reminds me of Thailand. I went to Thailand in
Okay.
2019 at the start, and there was a lot of like people always wanting to give you tuk-tuks and rides here and there. And what was that saying that you said with the cow and the milk? It was like they were trying to milk us, like all the time though. And even though it's super cheap, like
Exactly.
it's super cheap. I don't even know what it is to our dollar here, but it was just draining, like financially all the time.
Exactly. I think it's not a problem of money. It's not a money problem. It's just more of the thoughts the people have there when you
Yeah.
go. It's like, oh, they are white, so let's enjoy it. It's more
Let's
like that. I think it's more that feeling, that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there was a few places that me and my partner went, and it was free entry, but then it was a compulsory drink buying. So you had to buy like 3 drinks to start with, and then that was your like entry ticket. And that's like it's kind of in a way scammy, if
Yeah.
you know
What
what I
what is
mean.
that management? Yeah, of course. So you enter for free, but then they say, oh, okay, it's free, but you still have to pay that and that and that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Frustrating.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
so tell me about Chile. So did you go to Santiago, the capital, or what was your plan with the Chilean side? Were you like traveling via car or
So I started in Chile. I wanted to do like a working holiday visa. Don't know if you heard of that.
yep.
Probably. Probably have a lot of French right now, doing that in Australia. But yeah, so it's basically, for the person who don't know, it's you go for a year, and you are able to work at the same time as traveling. So you can work in a country, so you don't this won't be so complicated to work in the country. That's what I liked, and I tried to do that in Chile, and but it was in 2019, right at the beginning of all the protests in Chile. so really not the right time. And when I went, so it was in October, right? So 1 week after all the protests, the people and the communities were not happy about the government because life in Chile is super expensive. I think it's the same as in Europe. Really, it's nearly as the same in France, which is not honest because the salary is like 4 times lower than in France. So the way of life is the same, but people can't afford it, of course. So there is something wrong. And I guess I understood why they stood the protest, but it was kind of scary also at the time. So I didn't stay in Santiago, sorry. I stayed in Valparaiso. It's a 2 hours drive from Santiago in the coast, in the Pacific coast.
Awesome. And so did you surf there or?
I could have, probably not in Valparaiso, but there is a city called Pichilemu. It's more south of Chile where they surf. But no, I didn't surf.
Yeah, okay. Wow. That's awesome though. And what was your highlight there in Chile, would you say?
Um, I like the city of Valparaiso. I think I stayed 4 months there, a little bit more than
Whoa.
4 months. So I really plan to find a job and to settle for a bit. But yeah, because of the protest, I couldn't. But still, I like the city because there are many street arts, all over the city. So it's really like kind of a street art capitals, I will say, and also a lot of history with the port, with the fishermen's, because before the Panama Canal, people will go, all the way down to South America to go up, and if they wanted to reach Los Angeles or the United States coast, the coast of the United States, then they have to go all the way down and encircle, and so they would stop in Valparaiso. But after when the Panama Canal opened, they they just they didn't have to do all this crazy dangerous road right into the south because it's super cold, and also the climate and how to handle with the glacier, the ice. So they preferred to go to the Panama Canal. So the city just stopped after there were not so many ships and boats that were going to Valparaiso. So the city kind of turned into tourism, but as well lost a lot of fishermen in general, I will say, or sailors.
Yeah, I see. Right. So, in terms of like the art, what type of artwork do they have in that city? Like the spray paint stuff.
So I don't know much about the techniques. Maybe you can say it if you know more.
I've no
But
idea.
it was okay. But there were a lot of different paintings on walls, on special door garage, the kind of
That's cool.
a foil, also sometimes more like really big. It could cover a whole building sometimes.
Yeah,
And
right.
I remember one artist that was called Color Distinto, and they are Chilean from the city of Valparaiso. And four of their arts are really big. They covered all the four really huge buildings in Valparaiso. And what they did is they represented the four seasons, and so one building covered the whole season, and spring is the craziest and the biggest of them all. It really covers like a 20-floor building or something. It's really, you can see from everywhere in the street. And apparently they only took 2 months to do it, and it was wow, 2 months only for that huge art.
That's
Bravo.
awesome. That's so cool. I was also wondering, like, I've spoken to someone and they were from not Ecuador. Yeah, it was Ecuador, and they do like
Okay.
ayahuasca rituals. Like, they go out on trips with the natives and they do like ayahuasca rituals and they spew a lot and they do all this type of like inner work, I guess. Do they have that there in Chile that you know of, or yeah, did you do any of that type of thing in South America?
Actually, I agree with you. This is so cool to get to know the community a little bit better. But so there is a community in Chile that is also discriminated, but this is another topic. They are called the Mapuche, and they are the biggest, I think, native community that you can find in Chile. But I wanted to go to the place, but COVID happened, and I couldn't. Unfortunately, I was stuck because I traveled then to the Easter Island, and I wanted to do, from South Chile to very north in Bolivia and Peru, and I had already stars in my eyes when I was talking about it, but then COVID happened and I got stuck in south of Chile, so I couldn't unfortunately.
Oh,
But I
that's
think they have some parties. They have some rituals also and some native, but maybe not as Ecuador or Mexican. With the La Fiesta de los Muertos, the Party of the Deads. I think not as big as that and not internationally known, but I think they have it. Yes,
and that's in Mexico.
that's in Mexico. Yeah,
Yeah, right. That's cool.
from
Yeah.
the movie Coco. Maybe you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's the
Yes, I know
kind
what
of
you're
party.
saying. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think they say that's awesome because I think they celebrate the deads. So
Yep.
they really, because us when we would just mourn all our life, then they're just happy once a year. They're just happy and they go outside and yeah, I think it's amazing.
Yeah. I love that idea. That's an awesome idea. It's a cool sort of cultural difference. That's awesome. That's super
Yes.
cool. So tell me what Easter Island, we've only got about, I think we've got 10 or 15 minutes left. If that's okay, you still right for
Yeah,
time?
10 to 15. No problem.
Sweet.
No problem.
Tell me,
Yeah.
tell me about Easter Island. I saw this article where it was like, if war broke out and it was like the end of worlds, Easter Island was like a go-to place. Did you feel like isolated there, or like, how was it?
Definitely. Definitely. You feel I think every trips you ever had and the feeling, of exotic, far away, isolated, historical, beautiful sites, you all have it on the Easter Island. No, no kidding. I mean, you have the mysteries on the Easter Island with this Moai, which we don't know of. The big statues. The big statues, they are called the Moai, and they are just the rest of ancestors. Actually, they are just graves and bones, and on the top of them, the leaders of the ethnies, yeah, the community, they were just like they're just representing one of the leaders, the Moai, and they're just beautiful. And in terms of historically, how did they carry the big rocks, because that's solid rocks, solid heavy rocks. How did they carry all the way the rocks to make that uh, awesome grave? And that was all part of the mystery, and also the mystery around. There are many mysteries that you can see, and that's, I think, what I found the most fascinating thing about this island. But also you have the coast, so you can totally chill on the beach as well if you want. You can have a coconut, so that's some exotic, really kind of place that you can experience. And at the same time, I think you have some mountains, some volcanoes, so not like really tall ones, not like the Alpes or I don't know the Himalayas, but you can still hike and it still feels super nice. So yeah, no, I to anyone listening this, if you have the time to go to the Easter Island or to just isolate yourself from the COVID or whatever, just go.
Wow, it's that good.
It's that good.
That's awesome. Um, can you tell me where your future plans for travel now that I know the COVID is starting to get a bit better? Where are you planning on going? Are you going back to Chile or?
So I want to go to Taiwan now, I think, because I really loved Hong Kong and I want to experience the same culture, but trying to enter to more not the Chinese world, but without going to China, still have com- that comfort maybe to still be able communicate in English if things go wrong,
You're not
And
get
I'm
arrested?
learning. Yeah, exactly. I'm learning Mandarin, so I will try to learn the language. That's my goal. So I want to, and I heard Taiwan is one of the best place for the expats also to go. So let's see. But the
That's awesome.
visa is currently still closed, so I'm waiting.
Yeah, nice. Okay.
And you,
Awesome.
what is your future place?
I'm not sure. I think it was going to be South America somewhere, I think, but I'm not sure yet. Yeah. maybe even Europe. I'll just see how it goes.
Nice. I will welcome you in France if you come.
Thank you. Thank you.
Your pleasure.
So just before we wrap everything up, just tell me, do you have a like a YouTube channel, or do you have Instagram or Facebook? I'll put it in the show notes, but if you could just mention it now, people can check out what you're up to.
Cool. So I do have a YouTube channel. That is also part of my goals, to grow my YouTube channel. And so it's obviously a travel channel, if you didn't get it so far. So it's a travel and history channel. It's a bilingual one, so French and English, always subtitled. And yeah, we don't see that often, I think, on YouTube, like the two languages thing. So I try to release English videos as well as French videos. And it is called Vagabond Wanderings with an S. And yeah, so far I have a little bit more than 500 subscribers. So it's still just the beginning, but hoping to grow, I think. Yeah, I
Awesome.
hope.
Awesome.
And
No,
same
that's
thing
awesome.
for my Instagram. I also have an Instagram and YouTube channel.
What's your Instagram called?
Same thing, Vagabond Wanderings. It's just with the dash, which is like the low dash, you know.
Yep.
That's the only
Oh,
thing that changed.
awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on the podcast, and yeah, thanks
Thank
for
you
having
for
the
you.
time. Yeah, thank you, and vive la France, my friend.
Vive la France et vive l'Australie. Long live to Australia too.
Oh, thank you. But no, I
Thank you very
appreciate it.
much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Have a good one too.
Thank you.